Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt. Today it's me once again. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on Mean Girls. I know, it's kind of weird that I'm reviewing this before Beekeeper, but I'm not going to be seeing that for another few days, for reasons that I don't really need to bring up. But anyways, Mean Girls is both a new adaptation of the very popular 2004 comedy hit of the same name, but it's also an adaptation of the Broadway show that was based off of that movie. And if you've seen the 2004 film, you pretty much know exactly what the story is, okay? It's about a girl named Katie Heron who goes to a new school and makes some new friends and develops a crush on this one guy that this girl, Regina, used to date. And they form a frenemy type relationship. And of course, because Regina is such a mean girl, Katie tends to do some things that she's not going to be very proud of towards Regina because of how cruel she is. But yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't watch the 2004 film until recently. Much recently. I know, where have I been? Because the 2004 movie was super popular when it came out. People had no idea how good it was going to be, and yeah. I did watch the movie recently, like I mentioned before, and it is really good. I definitely see why it became such a big hit. Such a big hit that it had a straight-to-video sequel that I have not seen. Most people probably didn't even remember that there even was one. Because it's adapted into a Broadway show, of course it would kind of make sense if it became a movie of itself as well. What's really cool about this movie is that Tina Fey wrote the screenplay and was in the original movie, so seeing that she came back to write this screenplay and star as the exact same character was kind of nice to see. And of course, you can't have a retelling without a different cast, and there is a different cast, and they're all really good in the movie. Like, they put in actors that I knew absolutely nothing about. I'm sure they were in other properties, but it's nice to see that they're not adding in actors that are like very familiar ones. But of course, this is a teen film, so it would make sense that they had a younger cast, just like in the original. But yeah, I'm just gonna say right now that if you're not really big into musicals, but you're a big fan of the 2004 Mean Girls, then I'm not exactly sure how you're gonna take this. Because like I said before, it's both a mixture of the Broadway show and the 2004 film, but I never watched the Broadway show because, Broadway shows aren't really my thing. So I can't really compare this to the Broadway show adaptation because I never seen that. So if I miss some things that this movie is missing from the Broadway show, I deeply apologize, but I'm just judging it for what it is as a film. So yeah, the movie mostly is shot for shot of the original film, including some lines of dialogue that you may be a bit familiar with, but they do change up the dialogue a little bit in this film. Like, the movie does have its quotable lines, the original film did, so when they change it up in here, I'm not sure how some people are going to feel about that. It didn't really bother me a whole lot because I just watched the film for the very first time a few days ago. But yeah, of course you can't have a retelling without a few changes, and that's very fair. And there are a few changes. Like I said, this is set in a more modern era. As the original film, social media wasn't even a thing yet. Like, cell phones, touchscreen phones, and all that. That wasn't a thing yet. So yeah, you're definitely going to see that in this movie, but it's not always in your face. They only do the social media bits when it cuts to, like, I don't know how to put it, like when they're talking about gossip and all that. It only tends to be in the film when it's necessary. And of course, what's a musical film without, of course, the songs? There are a lot of them, and some of them are catchy, some of them I didn't really feel were all that memorable, but of course they're the same songs that were in the Broadway show. But yeah, the way they play out in this movie work pretty well for the most part. Characters have some really good choreography here and there. Sometimes it didn't always feel necessary, but if it was in the stage show, then yeah, it makes sense that it would be in the movie as well. Honestly, if you haven't seen the original Mean Girls and you're watching this film, then you pretty much already have seen the original. So that might be a major spoiler, but it's something that I feel like most people tend to expect. Like I mentioned before, most scenes are the same. In fact, it's basically the same movie, just with songs. Probably why it's 20 minutes longer than the original film. But yeah, honestly, my thoughts on the film overall, it's if I were to watch this movie again, I would probably just watch the original film, just due to the fact that this film has the same story, but with songs added in. But you know what? I enjoyed most of the songs, but Mean Girls really didn't need songs in order to be good, but it's based off the Broadway show, so that's understandable. The cast does a really good job, so it makes the movie from feeling, dull or boring, and it pretty much does capture some of the spirit of the 2004 film, just a little bit. But like I said before, because it's so familiar, it would just make more sense to watch the 2004 film. But hey, if you're into the Broadway show, then this is definitely a treat for you. As for someone who hasn't experienced the Broadway show but has seen the 2004 movie for the first time anyway, I could say for what it is, it does a decent enough job of paying, I wouldn't necessarily say tribute because, like I said before, it does mostly just feel the same, just with songs. I could say, from my experience, it was somewhat bearable, except there was a lot of people talking throughout my experience, so that might have ruined it a bit. But as a movie, it is what it is. It's harmless, so go in with low expectations and you should be fine. So yeah, like I said, Beekeeper is on my list. It'll be a few days before I review that, but yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.